Digital transformation, why employers prefer presence to productivity in the workplace nowadays. Are traditional beliefs making organ donation less elaborate in Kenya? Kenyan so-called celebrities trying their hand in politics. How effective are they in their leadership? Are security officers equipped with the necessary skills in case of danger? What measures have been put in place in case another terrorist attack happens? Live from GBN, my name is Django Mwangi, and thank you for tuning in Today in 30 Minutes. Today, digitization has taken over the world and has spared nothing in its way, including the changing dynamics of the workplace, which is evolving into something bigger and better. Our correspondent, Calvin Karanja, filed the following report.
Gone are the days when it was mandatory for the working class to physically report to their workplace in a bid to carry out their respective jobs. More and more people are preferring to work from home.
I work for a remote design agency based off San Francisco and headquartered in Oslo, Norway, while I am in Nairobi, Kenya. I feel that the future of work is open, meritocratic, and gives equal opportunities on a platform that not only gives you the opportunity to improve your skills, but also have an enabler to earn income. I wouldn't have been able to do this easily if I was working for a generic workplace where I'd have to go through so many loops of paperwork to enable me to get all the work permits to be able to do this. Before that, I used to work for another online open platform where I had to make so many bids and have competition with different people. However, in this platform, it's more of a community and a workplace that is organized for remote people, employees. And I feel that this is the future of work whereby it continues improving and we can do much more because of it.
Focus on productivity rather than the presence is a HR trend that is increasingly being adopted. A few people shared their thoughts on whether they would like to work from home.
I would like to work. I've never really considered it, but now thinking about it, it will be very convenient and easy for me to work from home.
I'd like to work at a workplace because there are not so many distractions, and also the fact that you don't have to really work at your home at work.
And now our correspondent, Calvin Karanja, joins us. Welcome. Now, from what we've seen, it's very imperative that the workplace is fast evolving thanks to the development of technology.
Indeed, reporting to a physical workplace is not a measure of productivity nowadays. 68% of the largest enterprises believe that by the year 2021, a majority of employees will be mobile and not bound by office space.
Wow, and 2021 is actually around the corner.
Yes, digital transformation is taking place faster than we actually realize, and millennials are are ushering in this new era of the course.
And of course, digital transformation doesn't only apply to only people working from home. It has other factors.
No. Digital transformation in the workplace includes different components, including paperless offices, online communication tools, and video connection.
It's interesting to note that we actually use some of these elements of digital transformation at GBN, but we're still not at 100%. Thank you for your insights, Kevin. It's imperative for organizations to ready themselves to adjust to changes that digitization is bringing. With me today is HR expert Mr. Daniel Ndolo. Thank you for joining us. How is digital transformation affecting the workplace as a whole?
Yeah, so digital transformation has changed the way we work a lot. And one of the ways, or I think I'll just point out two of the major ways that it's affected. One is people can work from anywhere. You don't have to stick to the brick and mortar model where you have to be in one place all the time. People can work from home. You have more flexible time to work from wherever you can as long as you're doing your work. And I think the second thing that it has introduced is collaboration. And we can collaborate with people from different parts of the world easily, and we don't have to in real time. And it doesn't take that long to create a project that has multicultural influences at once.
Is it true that employers will shift to online companies?
Yeah, so we are already seeing the transformations of companies that are running purely online, and they can employ people from different places. You can see that with online work, e-commerce sites. E-commerce in the sense that people can go there and get work, companies can go there and provide work. So yes, and it's already happening now. We don't have to wait for long to see it, because we already have a lot of examples of exactly how these gig economies are working right now.
As much as digitization is beneficial, what are the disadvantages that employees may face in future?
Well, for employees, I think it's all benefits, and the only caveat that we have is privacy, because in the age of a lot of data, this data is coming from people, and how ethical people treat the data, I think, is the one thing that drives the conversations for online collaborations, online work, or anything that is done online, is how protected are we when we are in the edge of sharing everything.
Thank you for your insights. The Health Ministry has recently established a new law under the Health Act 2017, which will allow for organ harvesting and donation once an individual dies. The new law will allow for people to donate their organs for research and other individuals and consent to having their organs harvested even after they're dead. But sometimes the negative beliefs of Kenyans come in the way of putting good organs into good use. One of our correspondents filed the following report.
In Kenya, where many people are either forced to wait for many years to receive organ donation or unfortunately sometimes seek out organs from the black market, you can't help but wonder where there is no elaborate framework to govern this system of organ transplants. Such is the case of Pauline, whose family had to source for alternative options outside the country.
My name is Pauline. I'm here to talk about the experience of donating stem cells to my sister. Her name is Ruth. In the beginning of this year, towards the end of January, we found out that she'd been diagnosed with an acute form of leukemia. And one of the treatment options to ensure that the leukemia does not reoccur was to have stem cells done. Now her doctors tried to find a matching donor at the World donation site, but they weren't able to find. So the next option was to look among her siblings. So we were tested, and I was a match. The first 4 out of 10 markers that they look at. So after that, we then went to South Africa, where she was having her treatment for further testing, and we thank God that out of 10, I was a match for all of them, which then meant that once the transplant was done, she wouldn't need to have another round of chemotherapy, which is good because it does take out a lot from the body. So the process itself for a donor is pretty simple. Okay, pretty simple, I would say. What you do is you get extensive testing done to see whether your body will be able to handle the boosting drug they give you over a period of 5 days to increase the mother cells from the bone marrow, which are then pushed into the bloodstream. Then the doctors will hook you up to a machine which looks similar to the one that does dialysis. Then they will spin out and extract the stem cells. So that was done over a period of 5 days. The harvesting, as they call it, took about five and a half hours, and then after that they did a transplant onto my sister, which took about an hour. This was done in end of July, beginning of August. So she's been doing very, very well. She recently went back to work, so I can say it worked. It worked. So yeah, that's my experience as a donor. Yes, I also have any questions.
Not all are as lucky as she was in the case of her ill sister. However, Kenyans' negative beliefs come in the way of progress. I asked a few people whether they would consider donating their organs once they died.
I would honestly never donate my organs for some foolish iPhone or for some millions of dollars. I wouldn't do that because my body is more important than any other material. So yeah,
yes, I would actually, but especially for family members and also for if all options are done out. I think I'm a bit scared of the operation, but why not? Like, I'd want someone to donate for me, so yeah, it's a while to come.
In order to have a reliable organ donation system in place, light must be shed on the importance of organ donation and how it can save the lives of thousands in need. Stephen Mawara, reporting for GBA News.
About 4 million Kenyans, as we know it, are suffering from some form of kidney disease, which will eventually require a transplant. Many Kenyans, though, fear donating their organs, even to close relatives. So, how can the government implement proper measures to improve this? Here today I have a health expert with me who will explain the new bill and how Kenyans can stop fearing donating their organs. Welcome. It's alarming how many people are dying from illnesses which could be avoided through simple organ transplants. So why does it take so long for the organ donation process to take place?
Unfortunately, just like many other things in this country, the whole process of organ donation and organ transplant takes a whole lot of time because there aren't many systems put in place to ensure a smooth transition from the donor to the recipient. Also, there are not very many people who are willing to give their organs or donate their organs for transplantation after their death.
What does the new bill mean for Kenyans?
Okay, it means people will not be able to donate their bodies after death for research and for organ transplant as donors, which is a good thing because, as we know, there's such a shortage of donors.
Thank you for joining us today. Right after the break, Kenyans plunge into politics. Are celebrities really what you think they are? Welcome back to GBN. Former Kenyan midfielder Donald Mariga was cleared to contest for the vacant Kibra Parliament sitting a few months ago. Kenyan celebrities trying their hand in politics is nothing new, but many question their motives. Are they really qualified to run for parliamentary seats or any political seat at all? Or do they just do it for the clout? Our correspondent, Hope Tracy Njoroge, filed the following report.
Footballer Donald Mariga, journalist Muhammad Ali, and activist Boniface Mwangi. What do these three have in common? Well, They are all three personalities who dipped their toes into the arguably murky waters of politics. People, however, question their motives sometimes.
Yeah, we have seen a number of celebrities getting into politics, and also we have also seen the new trend of social media. A lot of people are doing even the celebrity endorsements on social media, people endorsing some brands, and then they get paid from that. And basically what is happening is that because of the shift we are having right now, and that the social media is the in thing right now, some of these people think that the following they have on social media can translate to votes. So some of them get into politics thinking that I have a very huge following on social media, I have so many people who like my post, people who retweet my tweets, and then they feel these people maybe could vote for me because they are agreeing with my ideologies on social media. But again, you realize that the people on social media are not actually the electorate who end up voting. The people who end up voting are very different people. So they end up flopping, but basically most of them are trying to commercialize the following that they have. They feel that I have a big fan base, and this fan base I can convert it to people who will vote for me, and then I can get into power and maybe do whatever I want. So I can't say that all of them are doing it for their own selfish reasons. Some of them will be there to help people maybe to make changes, but most of them, it's that perception that I'm having a very big fan base, so many people are supporting me, so that will translate to votes, which is not the kind of voting patterns that we have in Kenya. Because in Kenya, usually people will not vote in the best candidate. More often than not, they're voting someone who is popular to them, maybe someone was giving them handouts, or the voting patterns are not predictable at all.
But do Kenyans have faith in these personalities turned celebrities? I had the chance to listen to a few people who gave their views on famous personalities who've stepped into politics.
Okay, so I think it's a last resort for a lot of them. It's a way to secure themselves and make sure they always have money. But I think it's a joke. You cannot. Jago was too far detached from politics to not just come and say he wants to be an MP of Kibra. I think he played in Italy, in Spain. All this while he never showed any concern for the common man. But now all of a sudden he wants to be a politician. I just think it's a way for them to make money.
I feel like celebrities getting into politics. We've seen Jaguar, and yet they're not doing so much. And they're asking when there's in the kind of background to look at what's going on, kind of come up with a change. But just because they're working with what I feel like they're just there for money. And not to really help people.
Perhaps the only way to know the true intentions of the celebrity turned politicians is to watch their leadership, as with any other politicians tenure. Reporting for GBN, my name is Tracy Joroge.
One cannot help but wonder the actual motives of these celebrities or public personalities once they join the political field. With me today is political analyst Professor Alfred Omenya, as he weighs in the implications. Do you see any notable difference between the leadership of a former personality and that of a normal politician, if I could call it that?
There is a remarkable difference. You'll find that normal politicians are grown through a party system. They understand policies and they understand issues that you need to deal with in terms of the public space and the political space. Former celebrities tend to just already have a following, and using that particular following, they get into political space, and their loyalty to issues and even to party policies is normally non-existent. So there's a remarkable difference between the conventional politician and celebrity politician in that regard.
When asked why he left football to pursue a career in politics, Donald Mariga stated that he wanted to give back to the community. In your opinion, do you think these personalities actually have a pure motive for contesting?
The truth of the matter is that they don't have a pure motive for contesting. But they should give back to society because they draw quite a lot from society in terms of their own successes. But having said that, politics is the wrong place for that. Yeah, as we said in the case of Mariga, he was better off giving what he had, which is football. And football is very different from politics. So are other celebrities. They should give just in terms of what they have, and not necessarily, embroil themselves in politics.
If we look at past celebrity political aspirants such as Charles Njagua and Boniface Mwangi, would you say there are some factors that come into play when voters are choosing their preferred candidate? Are these factors different from those they look into with normal people?
There's a big difference between celebrity candidates and normal candidates. In this sense, that celebrity candidates come with a following already, but also we are at a time when citizens are disgruntled with politicians and the quality of politicians. So citizens are looking for any alternative leadership, and that leadership is being provided by celebrity politicians, and that is a difference, and not just in Kenya, but we see that globally. The rise of Trump, Zelensky, the former comedian who's now president of Ukraine, for example. So they're actually offering alternatives in a situation where the citizens are totally disgruntled with conventional politicians.
Do you think it's going to be a trend now for celebrities to join politics?
Yes, it will be a trend for the simple reason that we are seeing at a time when politics cannot deliver on policies. And this is a global trend. And citizens globally are totally dissatisfied with with conventional politicians. And this is the reason why, as they look for alternatives, celebrities provide a very straightforward alternative, in the sense that they already have followings. But even parties themselves are latching onto celebrities, because celebrities already come with big following. Jaguar, it was in music. Mariga, it was in football and betting. So they brought in following in the political space, which the conventional politician was not able to bring on board.
Thank you for that. Since the unfortunate terrorist attack at the Westgate Mall in 2013, efforts to amp up the security in Kenya have increased over the last 6 years. But many may feel that within the past 2 years or so, security, especially in smaller malls and buildings, have become a bit lax, leading many to ask the question, are security guards that are employed really ready for a terrorist attack that may happen or may not, hopefully, happen again? One of our correspondents filed the following report.
Walk into any building nowadays and the first thing you'll of course notice are the 2 security guards manning the gates, holding their black frisking devices. They'll most likely pass these devices around you, then let you in. This of course wasn't always the case until the recent string of terror attacks that plagued the country. But are these frisking devices doing enough? I had the chance to ask a few people whether they feel safe enough when they walk into a school, mall or office.
I don't think I feel safe. Because I'm very sometimes so for me, I don't
I think security varies from place to place.
Go down.
So
Some may wonder what measures may be put in place when it comes to the security we see in malls, universities, and technically everywhere we go. Joining me today is Mr. Arthur Saula, a security expert. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Christine. The trainings for our officers vary for different organizations. We train our officers to be able to man residential houses, schools, commercial buildings, even some very important and vital places in the country. Previously, it was not as it is now, because previously we did not have lots of these problems we're having at the moment. But at the moment, we are taking into consideration ways and means of taking care and enabling our officers to be able to handle circumstances like the ones which have taken place into this place, i.e. the ones which took place in the American embassy sometimes back. Thank you.
Would you say officers would be prepared for in case of any attack or any emergency, say a terrorist attack?
Yes, at the moment, we are preparing them to that extent. It may not be effective much because we do not have proper weapons to be able to handle such. But should it happen at this moment, I believe that we can be able to measure to that kind of circumstance.
You mentioned proper weapons. What are some of these weapons that would help us be better prepared in case of any emergency that may take place?
This kind of attacks usually require some sort of firearms, if possible, which of course we are training our personnel to be able to handle. And this, I think, will have to be effective from January onwards, although we are trying to plead with the government such that we can be given a little more time to be able to handle this kind of equipment properly and be able to identify the right people in our offices who can be able to handle the kind of weapons that will be able to enable us to sort it out with time.
Do you think security in Kenya has become a bit relaxed over the years after the Westgate attack and even the Garissa attack?
I wouldn't want to say that they have relaxed. If anything, they have really tightened their ropes. Because what you see is that the kind of things that are happening previously, currently in security, is not usually very normal, and we have to be prepared, and all of us in security have to be prepared, both government and even private security alike, so that we can be able to circumvent the situations that prevail at the moment.
Thank you for your insights, Mr. Sarola. That's been all for tonight. I have been your host, Django Mwangi, reporting for GBN. Be sure to join in the next episode.